And me personally, I don't know how much longer the EV push is going to go for, because there's a lot of things that are, coming to light that people are starting to pay more attention to that are negative about them. I'm going to use the Ford F-150 Lightning as an example. So just weight alone. The base model lightest ICE F-150 is 4,271 pounds, 75 pounds, 4,275. The base model lightest Lightning, if you can call any of them light at all, is 6,015 pounds. Now that is a 1,740 pound difference. To put that in perspective, an NA Miata, first gen Miata with the little cutesy pop-up headlights, that car weighed in at 2,160 pounds. So just by buying the electric version of the F-150, you are almost strapping a Miata to the undercarriage. Now, it's not just heavy, and so your consumables like brakes and tires are going to wear out more, but it's also a collision hazard. The heavier a car, the higher the impact. It's physics and inertia and all that kind of stuff. And if you have a small percentage of the car population outweighing a whole bunch of the other cars on average, when those electric cars crash into the lighter cars, it's going to cause a lot more damage than two lighter weight cars crashing into each other. That's bad. Okay, so they weigh more. Their fires burn hotter. So electric vehicle fires can get up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. As comparison, a ICE fire typically only gets up to 1,500 degrees. That is 3,500 degrees hotter. And we know how parking garages and buildings and apartment buildings and office buildings, we know how they react to more heat. They collapse. That's not a good thing. I don't have to do any more explanation on that. Water. They burn hotter. So how much water does it take? So your average ICE fire takes somewhere between 500 and 2,000 gallons of water to put out. Electric vehicle takes, on average, 20,000. As a matter of fact, there was an electric vehicle fire on Christmas, I want to say in Alabama. It took 36,000 gallons of water to put out one Tesla fire. That's a lot. And, oh, by the way, all that water is now toxic. And it's not like it's a controlled drain, so it just kind of drains into the topsoil. And apparently the fumes and gases from electric vehicle fires, you can inhale them, and it's acid in your lungs. That doesn't sound very green to me. Oh, and to top it off, they can reignite hours or even days later. So you're just putting everyone and everything around that electric car at risk. And it's not just the cars, it's the electric bicycles and all that kind of stuff spontaneously combusting. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just calling out the fact that there are problems that we should probably look into. What about the supply chain? Well, we already know that Cobalt is the new blood diamond. And as much as electric vehicle manufacturers want to get rid of Cobalt, guess what Cobalt does? It stabilizes and reduces heat and increases range. Those are two of the biggest problems that EVs have, like right now with the Cobalt. So imagine if car manufacturers moved away from it. And Cobalt mines are basically, child labor mines. Now, I might be oversimplifying, but I don't really have time to get into all the details. You can look up the details yourself. I mean, all you have to do is look up Cobalt mine, Congo. It'll show you everything you need. So I'm not making it up. I'm not putting a whole bunch of detail into this particular video because a lot of other people do it for me, for you as well. So what's all this mean? So according to Forbes Ford has cut F-150 Lightning production by 50%. And they have also postponed $12 billion in EV investments. Tesla slashed prices of its new and low mileage inventory by up to $6,300 US. And it's not just the propulsion system, it is also, how we drive. 2.03 million vehicles of Tesla were recalled due to the auto steer feature, and according to the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, I think I got that right. Here's a quote from them. In certain circumstances, when auto steer is engaged, the prominence and scope of the features controls may not be sufficient to prevent driver misuse. So to me, it sounds like the auto steer, I guess they're calling it auto steer. I guess maybe they used to call it Autopilot. Anyway, it's just enough to get people in trouble. It's enough to lull you to sleep, but it's not enough to take care of you once you are catching some Z's. That's pretty dangerous. That is like a trust fall, and the people say, we gotcha, and then they all get distracted right as you're falling backwards. That's not good. Okay. Battery replacement costs. I want to say this is a couple of weeks ago. A guy in Canada driving his Hyundai Iconic 5, $60,000 to replace the battery. I'm not sure how much those cars cost. I can't imagine it's that much more than $60,000, but $60,000 to replace a battery. I can't think of an engine that would cost $65,000 to replace, except for something on a rare supercar or, something like that, like a Lamborghini or some high-end Porsche or something. But for just a regular commuter car, I can't think of a single repair that would be $60,000 for a commodity car. Speaking of Hyundai, it's not all bad news for Hyundai.